Yeah.
Under North Carolina law, the county regularly revalues property for the purpose of assessing property taxes so that residents and businesses are paying based on the current market value of their property. So, and there's been a web page set up under the county site. You can navigate through and find it.
Yes, we've got
2021 revaluation.
We've got a number of resources on that page. We will have an online appeals portal set up later as we go through the process.
Yeah.
Right now, you can go out and there's a frequently asked questions section as to why we're doing what we're doing and the timing.
I guess one of the most frequently asked questions is people say, you know, I always hear this, heard it for years. If they think my property's worth this amount, then they can buy it.
Yeah.
We hear that quite frequently.
Yeah. So what happens if you get a notice of the revaluation and you just don't think your property
is worth that?
Mm-hmm. What are your steps?
Well, the first step is just reach out to us. Our staff will work with every taxpayer, every property owner in the county to review their property. We ask that if you are appealing and questioning the value, that provide some information to us because we may not have everything.
Yeah.
You provide us some information as to why you think your property is worth what you feel it's worth, and then we'll evaluate that against the data that we have.
I mean, it's a big county, and when you do this, it's not an exact science. It's you got to do the best you can.
So what criteria is used to revalue property?
Primarily for residential, it's sales history. So currently we are in our current revaluation cycle is 2015. So the values that we have on the property occurred between 2012 and 2015.
Okay, so homes sold in the neighborhood and comparable size. It's like real estate comps.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. Our goal is to value it like a fee appraiser would. We want to come up with what that value is for that property, January 1st.
And unfortunately, just because you think your property isn't worth that much is not really a valid argument. I mean, you're going to have to be able to show why you don't think your home or business is valued. So.
Exactly. You need to provide us some substantive data that whether it's the condition of your property or properties around you that have sold for the range that you think your value is worth.
What about if it's haunted? Does that count?
That does not count.
Well, I tried. Y'all, I tried.
Because then it may be, you may be able to turn it into an income-producing property.
Yeah, they're going to call it a business then.
There you go. Golly.
Now, Van, you're the, Phil, you're the appraisal director. So is this your wheelhouse? Is this?
It is. Day to day, this is my responsibility. Like you said, it's a big county. We have right at 100,000 properties we go out there and look at. We visit them. We try to get out there at least once every 8 years.
And it's dramatically different from one end of this county to the other and from top to bottom and east to west. And that's what would make your job difficult is because you can look at an acre of land and a brick house sitting in Weddington, and it's dramatically different than an acre of land and a brick house in Marshville.
It can be a whole different world.
Yes.
And obviously we look at it compartmentalized.
Yeah.
So we look at the Weddington areas. We have those broken down into
I think
groups.
some people get confused about this, and I've tried to make this argument for y'all in the past, and some people don't believe it. But if a reevaluation happens, they come out and they look at let's say you got a house and an acre of land in the Prospect community, and you come out and look at it. They're not comparing that to the value of a house, an acre of land in Marvin. That's not the way that works.
No. Definitely not. Now we're going to look for like properties in your area.
Yes.
We're not going miles and miles away to get property.
Yeah.
We're trying to get what it would be in that marketplace. And like you said, this county is a hugely diverse place. So
sure is.
It wouldn't be fair to compare it to properties 10, 20 miles away.
So this has been going on for a while, and you've had a public hearing on it, and the adoption of the schedule of values was November 16th, and this month the legal notification of the revaluation is going out, and then in late January there'll be a publication of the new median home value. That's when we'll get a notification of what our values are.
So the individual property owners will receive their notices probably around the mid to end of February.
Okay.
What we will do is we'll go back to the board with some new data based on the schedule that was adopted to show them here are the results of the revaluation. Here's what the overall statistics for the county are as far as your median home value and those type things. But each property owner will get a notice later on, a few weeks after that, with their individual property values.
Okay. And then next summer, the tax rate will be adopted with the new budget. And as far as when we're actually as homeowners paying for this new tax value, or when the tax bills go out in next September.
Yes. So the tax rate is the second component of how much you pay in taxes.
Right.
The value is just the initial. That's what we do.
Yeah.
The tax rate is adopted as part of the budget process, and once that rate is set, then we go through the billing process, and tax bills typically go out around mid-August. They're due September.
I see. Okay. So has the revaluation started? I mean, are you already looking at properties and neighborhoods and that kind of thing? And how far back does that have to start?
It really never ends.
Oh, really?
Once we end one revaluation, we're immediately out there looking at properties,
Really?
collecting data. We have a group of folks that are always out in the field collecting data and looking at sales. I
think the Beatles had a song about you guys.
Do the reevaluations in this county happen on a set timeline?
No, there are multiple criteria. They have to happen at least once every 8 years.
I got you.
The county commissioners can advance that if they choose, and historically they have. But recently we've been actually ordered by the state. There are some criteria. If we fall certain percentages outside of the market value, the state can and did order us to perform a revaluation within a set period of time.
I got you.
Just kind of add on to that criteria is if we're North Carolina's a market value assessment state. So if you're 15% higher or 15% lower than what's determined to be market value, then you're required, based on population size, to do a revaluation when the state notifies you. If you go back historically, Union County did a 2000, 2004, 2008 reappraisal. Then the recession hit. There was not one done in 2012. We ended up over-assessed at 119% of the market, countywide. So they triggered the revaluation. In 2015 was the last one. We actually had a contraction in the tax base at that point. We still lost, even though it was 7 years after the recession, we still lost 10% of our tax base. Fast forward now, we're on the flip side of that equation. We're sitting at 70% of market, around about that number. So we're under-assessed between 23, 25, 27%, somewhere in that range, as the county as a whole. And there are some areas that may be more, some that may be less.
Yeah.
But that's how that process works when you're in the line of 8 years. If you're a growing county like Union County, because we've got a very active real estate market, and if you're in that type of situation, being a suburban county, you're gonna, without those regular intervals of 4 years or 5 years, whatever it is that the board may deem necessary, the state's going to eventually send you a notification.
Based on what you just said, are you setting us up for some pretty big increases, you think?
Well, we put this out from the beginning in our conversations with the board. Countywide, if you look at the total tax base, we're looking at an increase in value, just value, not taxes, but in value of 23 to 27% as of right now.
And that sounds big.
It is. It's not the highest Union County has ever seen. We look back at the history of our reappraisals and revaluations in the county, and I think in the mid-'90s there was one that was about a 42% increase. So it's not an unheard of territory, if you will, but it's
but it ain't little either.
It's not little. It's not little.
Anything?
And do remember, this is over a 6-year period, so this isn't just overnight. People think that because we get locked in for several years,
right?
But it's really 2015 to 2020.
That doesn't ease our burden.
No, it does, and it doesn't make it any easier.
So basically, if you're looking at an average 25% increase and you have a $100,000 house, then you're going to owe tax on another $25,000 is what you were accustomed to paying.
Well, yes, but hopefully there was a corresponding decrease.
Yeah,
in tax
exactly.
rate.
I'm just worst case scenario in it. That would be what. So, and you said before we run all the way out of time, you said there's a portal. People are going to be able to go and look and get info.
Yes, if you go to the county webpage and go to under the government section, click on taxes and property. There is a link on that page. Select that page, and there's a link on that page that says 2021 revaluation. There's a lot of information there already. We're continuing to add information weekly. There's also, if you have an organization, community group that you'd like to get this information out to, there's a speaker request form that you can fill out that comes directly to me and our communications team, and we will be able to reach out to you and schedule that.
Is it true that not mowing the grass and having a mean dog helps?
It might keep an appraiser from visiting the property without you being there.
Yeah, maybe.
Is there anything required on our behalf?
Yeah, pay.
Other than that,
no, we really look at this from our standpoint. We look at this as a partnership with the property owner, because we want to get it right. We know there's some. You may have made additions that we're not aware of. We may have additions that you've torn down that we're not aware that you've torn them down. So verify your property characteristics. You can do that through the county website as well. Let us know if you have questions. Just reach out to our office. We've got a staff of 10 appraisers, and
I bet they work. Lord have mercy. This is a big county for 10 people.
We've got a significant customer service staff. They're very talented, very friendly, and we'll do what we can do to help you.
Well, that's great.
and once the numbers come out, there's ample time to file an appeal.
There is. The appeals process from the time you get the notice, our appeals, the Board of Equalization and Review is who hears the appeals locally. We try to work with the taxpayers at what we call the informal appeal level. That's just the appraiser and taxpayer talking to see if they can come up with an agreed upon value. If you don't agree there, you can go to the Board of Equalization and Review. Most of our appeals, quite honestly, are settled in that informal level.
Yeah, well, because y'all, listen, y'all, they're not perfect. It's a big county. They're going around looking that mistakes can be made, and it's your right as a taxpayer to do it. And you might not like the results, but at least you'll know. At least then somebody can say, "Hey, here's the comps, and this is why we valued it, what we did." And at least you got peace of mind of knowing, heck, my house is worth more than I thought it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we're adding a tool to the website. We're in the process of building this out now. It is called Comper, and it's for taxpayers, and where you can go in and put your property in, and it will show you all the comparable sales to your property within whatever radius you select, because that's what we're based on. If this process is based on comparable sales, and if you look back to 2015, we've had around 35,000 sales in the county since 2015.
Yeah.
So we will build those values primarily based on late 18, 19, and 20 because they're the most recent.
Right.
But we will have that data out there for people to reference and take advantage of and use that in their conversations with us.
Okay.
Well, guys, we sure appreciate y'all coming in and talking to us today and taking the time and letting us know how all this works and what people can do.
Appreciate you having us in.
No problem. We'll be back with more of the Breakfast Club. Y'all hang on. Back after
Hey, folks, Shane here, and we all love the